Welcome to the Shootnami, the show that is officially 10 episodes old. We made it.
Happy anniversary.
Happy. You know what? I'm taking it. I feel like most people will take 50 or 100 episodes, but we fought like hell to get not only to 10 episodes, but to episode 10.
Oh, yeah. And we found out today that our daughter is going to be born on night 2.
That's right.
At 9:00 WrestleMania.
That's right.
So we will actually be in the hospital. I will be delivering a child during CM Punk and Roman Reigns.
Not even. It's going to be during like the ladder match.
Oh, come on. No. I don't want Rusev to be there.
It's going to be when Rusev is on the ladder reaching for the briefcase or for the belt that he's obviously not going to win.
The worst part of the entire...
Probably the worst part of the best night of WrestleMania.
Yeah. And also, disclaimer, I don't think we're going to have time to do much editing from now until we release this episode. So we're going to do our best. And our bulldog is here. So he might make sounds.
Yeah, we're flying without a net here, but we wanted to...
We're tired.
We wanted to really do the 10th episode because we really love doing this, and there are people that listen. We do look.
People do give a shit.
People do care, and it might be just the same handful of people but you know what? That's audience retention, and we love that too.
Yeah.
You know, that's the name of the game in GM mode. So
yeah, totally.
But whoever's out there, we really appreciate talking to you on a monthly basis, I would say, about all the goings on of wrestling. And, this moment in time is kind of one that represents one of like flux, good flux, but, it's going to kind of take some getting used to like the scheduling of the show going forward. And with WrestleMania on the horizon, we felt that this was a good culmination point to kind of say, not so long so much as maybe so long for now, or so long to maybe the current format that we become used to, where we go an hour 90 minutes at a time. Maybe we'll have more like truncated versions of the podcast, or it's the strategy we still have to talk about, but for now we're going to go OG Shootnami. And this is a great one to close on, because not only do we have WrestleMania, but 36 hours away, but AEW has had quite a week, and I've been really, really chomping at the bit to be able to do some AEW, because I feel like we've really been focused on the WrestleMania build.
Yeah.
I think that for the past like 2 episodes. But because it's WrestleMania season, I think AEW has kind of like pulled out some stops, pulled out some prizes to maybe divert a little bit of the attention in the week leading up to it. And, originally we wanted to talk about Dynasty, which we will. We're going to open the show with some AEW talk. It's going to focus around Dynasty. We were going to do it coming off of Dynasty, like probably after Monday Night Raw, to be able to get all that in there, the go home Raw as well as Dynasty. But I decided to wait. Along came Dynamite, and then it all kind of coalesced, and we realized it was all for a reason. So, and that was that we have a new AEW champion.
Yep.
And I'm shocked. I am completely shocked, and not in the sense that this has not been done before. Darby beating MJF, the way that it was filmed and the way that it was kind of the show was structured, with Darby getting, basically calling a shot at the beginning of the night, the match scheduled to start the show, and then MJF saying that he doesn't agree to it, and then Tony Khan flexing it to the end of the night. It reminded me a lot of like when Goldberg beat Hulk Hogan on that episode of Nitro in like, I think it was August of 98 or 99, when he won the World Heavyweight title for the first time. And everybody knew that it was coming, but also there was a little bit of doubt in the air because Hogan had been, it's Hogan, so he has that booking like in a vice grip.
Mm-hmm.
But it just made so much sense. I'm not really sure it made sense in the same way for Darby, but they have been telling in that story for a long time.
Yeah.
So I knew that it was going to culminate with him holding the belt at some point. I'm surprised that it happened now. What were you thinking? Like when did it kind of click for you that like, oh shit, this is happening?
Sting.
Sting for sure.
That's when it was like, oh, that's
Whenever Sting comes on the program, you know things are happening.
Yeah.
It's like it's their like official wink and nod to us.
Yeah. I knew that he was going to get it the moment that Sting showed up. But I also thought the Andrade match was kind of like a little bit of a precursor because I really think that like both of them pulled out everything that they had.
You're trying so hard to
Yeah.
not make this like a giant innuendo for.
I did see a lot of internet commentary about Andrade being kind of bricked up at the end. So
Well, he was really happy for what he knew that was going to happen for Darby on Wednesday.
I know, exactly. He was like the beginning. So I don't know. I think that like I started off being really like nervous about that match because I don't love like when people get really hurt. But I really thought that that match, after just thinking about it, like after the fact, not in it, I really enjoyed it. So that was kind of like a good precursor. And then yeah, when I saw Sting, I was like, oh well, there goes my champion, which is MJF always.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna kind of talk to some feelings that I had while I was watching it, like because I'm like you. When I saw Sting, that's when it basically clicked. Like this is definitely going to happen. And I was surprised because, like I said, they've been telling this story with Darby. I think that he was supposed to be the one in Hangman Page's spot at All In the Texas Death Match.
Yeah.
Um, prior to him leaving for Everest, Moxley and Allen had, a prolonged feud. He was always fighting the Death Riders in a parking lot. He had the pickup truck that he was like, hitting them with and then getting dragged by in a body bag and all that stuff. And just common Darby Allin things. And then it was basically just put on hold so he could go to Everest.
Yeah.
So for a while, I thought that because Hangman took that mantle and that they put the belt then on to MJF, that basically the story had petered out and maybe they were going to come back to it at another time.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out that they did not do that. So the ways that I think it makes sense is that MJF has been playing a character that is similar to Moxley in the sense that he's separating himself from the crop and saying that there is me and then there's everyone else. I am the standard. And then everybody else needs to get up to my level. So there's a bit of a dovetailing of, Darby being that underdog and that kind of original face of AEW fighting against kind of that one man insurrection of it.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that was the opportunity that they felt was close enough to finish that story, even if it didn't involve Moxley. So I understood it from that angle, but also at the same time, John Moxley had like a year-long title reign or a year and change. It felt like 3 years. It felt interminable.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what really made that culmination at All In so, powerful. Is, the same thing with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. It's just the ending of something that they were so bold to stick to for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So MJF's title reign lasted 3.5 months.
Yeah.
So to me, it was, I got why they chose that particular night and that opponent to put a tie on that story. But I feel like it really needed that longevity of a heel title reign
Yeah.
in order to drive the most impact. But I mean, it also seemed like a nice moment. It felt like scenes properly, like when when everybody came out, put him on his shoulder, confetti, Sting was there. It did feel like a good moment. I'm just wondering if maybe it could have felt better.
Oh, I think MJF should have been a title holder for at least 6 months.
At least,
At
yeah.
least. I mean, he deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't maybe want to have him go on another long-term reign because he's already like the
Had.
longest reigning champion, so it might seem a little redundant if Tony is anything like the WWE where like they care about the history books, they want to be able to have a diversity at the top of like longest title reigns. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe in that way, like you don't want him like hogging the belt forever. But I still feel like this. You're right. I feel like it needed 6 months, and
I think it needed just like a build.
yeah,
There was no build. Like,
and the build was not even. They didn't even interact with each other. Like it was
no.
like there was always an intermediary where it was like the Don Callis family, or there was Andrade, and there was like this very weird build to him getting the opportunity where Don and MJF forged this like pack, but we don't really see it, or at least I don't think
I
we
don't.
saw it. Like,
I have to be a little careful because, like, I just didn't catch probably every single segment. So, like, I'm sure things happened, but I basically was privy to like a business relationship, not
right.
necessarily like MJF is too good to be in the family, but like there's some kind of financial tie. MJF hates everyone, but Don Callis is like, somehow has like a soft spot with him, and like that's basically all I knew about the alliance there.
Yeah.
And I had no idea it had anything to do with Darby Allin. Like I completely skipped over me.
I don't
I skipped
remember.
over it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
No. I don't remember the segment either. It
I feel like
probably
we're pretty good about catching.
we're pretty good about Dynamite.
We're pretty good about Dynamite. We don't.
Collision. Hey, listen. We're talking third disclaimer.
Yeah,
Collision.
we don't really fuck with.
We don't really fuck with Collision, but they don't either. So you know what?
Yeah,
Maybe they, they
yeah,
treat it like developmental, and then until they stop doing that,
yeah,
we will, follow suit. But like,
yeah.
it might be like Collision tends to be like the dumping ground for the like promos that set up the stuff on Dynamite,
Right,
which is because they Dynamite will go back and show Collision clips,
right. Exactly.
assuming that you're not watching,
You're
which
not
we
gonna
aren't.
watch it.
Right, exactly. So you're right. That's So if Tony feels
Yeah.
that way, we feel that way too. It's like if you have something structured like the B show, then we're gonna treat it like the B show. But like I didn't see the segment either, and where we got the like official pact making. Um, so the way that I tracked it was that they had this loose partnership,
Mm-hmm.
and then MJF told Don to basically pick a mercenary, and he said, if he can beat Darby Allin, or if Darby Allin can beat whoever you choose, then I'll give him a shot at the title.
Okay, so that was the build.
Right. So that was Andrade. That was the match at Dynasty.
Yeah.
And then, on Wednesday,
Can we
very, yeah.
can we talk about, sorry, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but
No, we're going to jump around. We don't have to, I think let's dedicate this block to AEW, and then pepper in some Dynasty and just kind of some thoughts and feelings because it's been a while. But then afterwards we'll wrap up with WrestleMania.
yeah, I feel like I need to like talk about the really weird vibe that Darby brought to
Oh
Dynamite.
God. I mean, really for like the past few weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to I when it first happened, I looked to John and I was like, Darby Allin sounds like how you feel in a dream when you can't talk with like marbles in your mouth.
Right. So that opening promo, it was a combination of two things. It was like you said it perfectly. It's like it's how you think, how like you talk in a dream when you're like desperate to get the words out,
but you can't get them out. Or like even when he was walking away from the ring and he like like intentionally like just kind of like plowed into the siding or like the side
He was
barricades.
amped up.
Yeah, like he was crying.
He was
Dude, I
crying.
swear to God, I've had dreams where I was like the way Darby Allin was
Yeah.
in this moment. I have experienced that in a dream where like I can't walk straight, I can't talk straight, like everything coming out of my mouth is just marbles. And that's how it was when he was approaching MJF. And MJF is so like crisp. He's
Mm-hmm.
just like, okay, buddy, calm down.
You could
Like,
see in his eyes that he was
chill.
like, you're overplaying this, dude.
Stop. I
Yeah.
mean, I did find it fascinating because like it was very odd and like very untraditional, but like I also just felt like I don't know, it was weird. It was like a very weird moment.
Yeah. And that was part of my reservation about putting the belt on him, because normally when you put the belt on someone for the first time, there's a real momentum to
Mhm.
them where it feels natural, whereas they've never held the title before. It's about the world title.
Yeah.
I think there've only been like maybe, I don't know, like 7 or 8 world champions at AEW. So like Darby getting the belt is like a pretty big deal. Like he's going to be
Yeah.
within the first 10 people to hold that belt ever, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's probably like the right call because he is an original. He is kind of a stalwart. It is good to like have him get that recognition, but like he was on a real run of just like strange. I mean, lest we even talk about like the coffin match he had with Gabe Kidd like about
Dude.
2 weeks ago. Like the
Was
for
it
me
2
the
weeks ago? It feels
for
like 1,000 years ago.
yeah, I mean, like it could have been a few more than that, but like to be honest with you, it was like it was the first time because we decided for the Shootnami Awards that we are actually going to do worst matches, and I think it was because of this match. It was like
Yeah.
I think you have to be able to you can't tell the story of wrestling this year and not mention that match the same way that it was in 2025 with the Becky and Lyra Valkyria like street fight at
Yeah.
SummerSlam, where it was just
You
like
can't ignore
it
it.
was a match that was like every now and again, and usually it's just like wrestling is just one of those things where it's like it's not perfect, and honestly like whenever it's great, that's like the anomaly. So like I'm pretty forgiving of like an average or like below average match, but like
Yeah.
there are matches from time to time that I just get pissed off at because I'm just like, this sucks, and everybody involved in it should know that it sucks, and it is way better than this. And that coffin match was just like that was like that old saying where they're just like, oh, like he did that for like $20 and a hot dog at a veterans hall. Like that was that type of shit, and like
Yeah.
and that was maybe 4 or 5 weeks removed from him raising the AEW title for the first time. So,
Yeah.
and then in between, there was just like that vignette. There was that weird cinematic match where he's fighting Gabe in the parking lot with the car
Oh
and the
my
stunt
God.
work. And then there's the one where it's like after he has the coffin match, he does the promo where he's just like, it's like I came down from, the same thing he kind of always does. It's like came down from Everest and like I'm going to either see God or I'm going to see the AEW world title. And, it, it's like a decent enough line, but just coming off of that match and then just the sudden transition to not only MJF, but also just getting the title shot and kind of that weird way that he was able to earn it. Like this company has like an infrastructure for that type of thing. They have eliminator matches.
Yeah.
They have like, getting in back into the title picture is an actual structured thing in like how they craft the narrative of the show and the promotion. So like this kind of like roundabout thing to get him shoehorned into that match and then to basically just squash MJF
Yeah.
in like a couple of minutes. I mean, like this is like 3 days removed from MJF and Kenny Omega fighting for almost an hour. And I think maybe that's probably the justification for it is that he's tired. But, he took some crazy shit, including Kenny Omega's finisher from off like the top rope,
Yeah.
the one that nobody kicks out of, and he kicked out of it. But then like 2 or 3 days later, it's just like coffin drop, coffin drop, coffin drop, coffin drop, pin, we're out. So the whole
Yeah.
thing just has been paced so weirdly.
Well, and it's not a great way for Darby to win.
No,
Like it just, like you said, the pacing through the whole thing was weird, but then there's also just the fact that like he didn't win well. It's just like
the
it's like
squash was strange. I didn't think that they ended on the headlock takeover because that's a reference to MJF beating him with that move, which is just
yeah.
a very rudimentary, basic wrestling move.
Yeah.
The whole point was him saying like, "I only need that move to be able to beat you," and then he did beat him with that, and then Darby beat him for the belt on Wednesday with that move. So that's the circularity of it.
Yeah.
But you know, these matches like in AEW, like they don't end that way. Like
Mm,
it's even if it's for a story purpose. I just watched a 5-hour show where like you basically had to cut someone's head off to get a 3 count.
yeah.
Right. So it's like watching your title change hands in a 2-minute match on a roll up
Yeah.
is weird. And like you can tell me to the end of the to the cows come home, like how you structured the narrative to be able to justify it. And on paper it makes sense, but is it still satisfying?
Yeah. And I just think like everybody coming out for him with the confetti and all of that, it's just like makes it almost worse because it's like, I don't know, it's like, way to go, buddy. you know,
I had a bit
yes.
of a soft spot for it because it reminded me of Sting at Starrcade, but
Yeah,
like he didn't go in the camera and say "Mamacita," so I was
it's
a little
true.
disappointed by that.
Yeah, we needed like a really like weird like Sting-esque moment to come out of
Sting
it.
could have done it. Old man Sting could have said "Mamacita." That would have been, dude. That would have been like
Tony Khan would have that would have.
me and Tony Khan would have just gone crazy.
Oh my god. Anyway, I think it's exciting. It's cute. Good for Darby. Didn't like love it, but I definitely understand why they did it and happy for Darby. I'm interested to see how long it lasts.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
This is something that I could definitely see because, the other thing we didn't mention is that we were in Darby's home state. I don't know if it was hometown.
It was state, I think.
I know that a lot of wrestlers on the show alluded to the fact that they had started their careers like at I think it was the Buddy Wayne Academy.
Yeah.
So maybe that was the same for Darby. I mean, like, it was 100% Darby in that crowd. Like that was
Mhm.
the thing is like even in like the biggest road games for MJF, you'll still hear like when his music hits, you'll still hear like a little bit of the crowd doing that like da 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 da, and that would be like me if I were there. But then Wednesday, completely dead silent. It was a like full 100% Darby Allin crowd. Um, so that's great. I mean, like, you definitely don't want it to be 50-50 if you're going to have such a decisive result. But like, I think the way that you put it and summarized it was perfect. It's like, great, happy for Darby. Don't really know where you go from here. I could definitely see this being a thing where like they put the belt back on MJF like at Double or Nothing, and
Yeah.
then he goes into Wembley against I think that it's definitely Will.
Mhm.
That's for sure the story that they're telling. And when Will lost to John Moxley and basically got like, the tar beat out of him, that was one thing that was kind of interesting about Dynasty too, was that uh, a lot of people returning for the show, Jericho, Osprey, in their first high profile matches. I know we'll get to him. I know you can't wait.
Chomping.
That was your match of the night. And maybe this is the way that we get there, but Quickly and Osprey, I knew that when he lost that way, I got excited because I was like, okay, we're telling like the Rocky story.
Mhm.
We're telling him like he comes back with all this sound and fury and fire, still gets the shit kicked out of him,
Mhm.
still loses, can't avenge the injury that he had at All In, but it's going to be about building them back up for that. And they had that scene with him and Kenny that we saw in Dynamite after Dynasty, where they're both beaten up in the locker room. And I was like, this is Hangman and Swerve. This is like them doing that this year. And so I
Yeah.
can already kind of see it setting up. So I can see that it'll be Will. I do think that like Will and Darby, I don't know if that's an all-in main event. In fact, I don't really think you can have an all-in main. I don't think you can have a main event at Wembley Stadium, your biggest show of the year, and not have it include MJF.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's kind of one of the problems with Darby is that like I just don't see him. It's like it's not like an Osprey or a Moxley where like you can put him with almost anyone and it just makes sense. Like Darby Allin doesn't make sense with a lot of people. Like he's got a very particular. It's like Sting probably. I mean, I say probably because I didn't live through Sting, but it's like I was talking about this the other
I think
day.
you've lived through like the best. To be honest with you, like Sting is a beloved wrestler, but he had like some notable highs in the '90s, and he came to WWE and he had some stuff in TNA that I didn't I've only heard about, but I feel like his best stuff really is AEW.
I just think with Darby, like, and I might just be kind of like old school, but like he is very like he's like a smaller guy, so like you can't put like I don't like to watch him wrestle like with like the Brody Kings and the it's like you want him to have a chance, and with Darby Allin, all of the matches that he has, he's basically wrestling himself more than his opponent. So like I find that like watching him is frustrating sometimes because like he will put his own body through way worse than he puts anybody. And it was the same thing with Andrade too, where it's like you don't need to do that with Andrade. Like
no, 3/4 of the way through the match, you and I were just like, how many actual offensive moves has Andrade landed on Darby? But they're both like plausibly winded.
Right. Do you remember when he threw himself on the stairs? Like,
oh god,
it's just it's like
the drop kick on the concrete stairs.
It's like the glass thing. It's like remember when he just like wanted to put himself through a giant pane of glass?
Can I be honest with you? Like the glass bump. If you gave me a choice between the glass bump and the drop kick on the concrete stairs,
it would be
just a couple of feet off the ground, dude, I'm taking the glass all the way.
I think that's just it, though. I think that's what at
least I have a chance to black out before I hit the pane. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I'm going straight down on those like step edges, and it's. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. I don't want to. I've told you this so many times, but it's just like. It's so infuriating that like it's so clear that Tony never talks to him and he never will.
Mm-hmm.
If you know you're going to be putting the belt on him on Wednesday, why the fuck would you make him take that bump on Sunday?
I actually think that I never watched it, but I always wanted to. Is that interview that he did with that like I forget his name.
I think it's Chris Van Vliet.
Yeah, Chris, that guy.
Yeah.
He did an interview with that guy that I watched like clips of, and I think he did say to him, because I mean that's like the biggest thing you'd ask Darby Allin. It's like,
what's wrong with you?
What the fuck is wrong with you? Does Tony talk to you?
Right. Yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah.
And I feel like
is this the world's longest suicide?
Yeah. I feel like Darby Allin basically told him like Tony has talked to him, but like he just
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's like if you're I come to work and
hey Darby, it looks like it really hurts. You sure you want to
Right. And Darby Allin's just like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, whatever, nerd.
I've climbed Mount Everest. I'm a skateboarder.
Right.
Like I've also heard him say skateboarding is a lot worse on his body than wrestling. Which
I don't know if I believe that.
I don't know. I mean, like taking a high fall onto concrete versus like a wrestling ring. Like, I don't know. Of course, Darby Allin does crazy things, but like, I would just say that like, from Darby Allin's perspective, skateboarding has fucked him up worse than wrestling, and Tony has talked to him. He just loves this, and like he enjoys it. So I don't think he's trying to kill himself. I think he's just like crazy. I think he's a crazy man.
Yeah.
Like, and he doesn't have anything to lose. Like, he just well, now
I
he has the
think
title, but
and I don't mean to I don't mean to be glib about this or flip him, but I think I genuinely do mean this. I think at some point, if I were Tony Khan, like I would just show Darby Allin like a clip of like the Owen Hart thing
oh yeah,
and just be like, hey, dude, there's precedent for this, and I don't want to be Jim Ross.
yeah,
I don't want to have to be telling Excalibur that you were no longer with us
yeah,
because of some wrestling match that I booked.
yeah,
Especially when you have this body of evidence of you giving the green light to basically everything.
yeah,
That's the thing that just stresses me out about Darby Allin if I were Tony Khan, because you have this entire archive of all the shit you made him do. Not you made him, but like from the general observer, if something like that were to happen, in their minds, the Booker is the end all be all.
mm-hmm.
You know, it's like they probably won't give a lot of credence to the idea that like a lot of these wrestlers have more leverage than they do, because there was a time when they didn't,
Yeah,
especially like during like the old days and like the McMahon days, like, you know, the Iron Fist and everything.
mm-hmm.
So, you know, if I were Tony Khan, it would be kind of like almost an act of indemnification at this point, of just
Mm-hmm.
wanting to be like, hey, dude, I have to
Yeah,
protect my company at some point, and if you fucking eat it on some of this shit, then, you know, you know, if you love AEW and you really want it to continue into the future, then maybe this is a part of that discussion, you know? So, and I don't know, maybe giving him the belt is maybe like a way to kind of soften his approach, because now he's got the strap and now
yeah,
he's got to carry the
company.
company, right? So it's like this could signal kind of an evolution of him. And it's nice because like every now and again, like I remember he had a match against Pac like a few months ago where they specific, and you know, like those two, you're just like, oh, I know what this is gonna be. There's
Yeah,
gonna be a lot of flipping. There's gonna be a lot of like diving off of shit.
yeah,
They had a straight up grapple fest in the middle of the ring, and you know what? It left such an impression on, I feel like, everybody in the arena and on me. I'm talking about right now. I can't remember when it was. It was not recent.
yeah,
He has the chops to be able to be like a technical wrestler. Like that's the thing. Is like that's the thing that I wish that he would lean into more and just have more confidence in, is that the fact that he is a more diverse package than he pigeonholes himself, because people expect him to do all of these daring things. I think that that stuff needs to be reserved for like the big shows. And I think that, you know, for stuff like this, like it would have been honestly pretty cool to see if the match is going to end with a roll up,
mm-hmm.
to see maybe like a countering pin sequence, or like, you know, a little bit of like, you know, exchanging holds or like getting out and kind of like having that that quick back and forth and trying to get the best of each other and catch as catch can wrestling, and then he just bam hits him with the rollover 1 2 3 just like that, and that's how he wins. And I think that that could have been just as compelling as like 4 coffin drops and a pin.
Yeah, I think you're giving the situation a lot of credit though, because I feel like AEW is like rewarding him for this shit.
It's probably just as simple as that.
You know, like
It's a make good for, you know,
thanks for fucking like having people tune in to
thanks
this.
for not dying on Everest, and thanks
Right.
for coming back, and you know, I guess thanks for putting Gabe Kidd over, except you didn't.
Except he didn't. Okay. But like, I don't know. I think Tony Khan cares about him, but I also think he's like, fuck dude. Like I have to do something for this guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, I don't know if you do, because honestly, like, I don't think, because of the way that he wrestles, I don't think WWE has any interest in whatsoever.
Yeah. Oh no, never.
I can't imagine being a
never.
part of like the TKO group and being
Never.
like, yeah, we definitely want to get this guy on
Oh,
here.
never. No, it'll
No.
never happen. I mean, there couldn't. I think that might, but that to your point, that might be like the way he carries the company is that he is quintessential. Sorry,
Quintessentially.
quintessentially AEW, like as a person.
Right. So he should have the belt. It
Yeah,
makes sense.
for sure. Whereas MJF, different story, even though he likes to tell everyone how diehard AEW he is.
I think that that belt, if I were to guess, will find a way back onto him before August.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
Anyway, do you want to talk about Dynasty?
Yeah, like I do. There's a couple of things that I want to shout out from Dynasty. I know that I think I know where you want to go.
I don't remember.
Well, I thought it would be your main event. I thought it would be Jericho and Ricochet.
Oh,
And not only that, but probably one of our favorite moments, and maybe our favorite moment of the year, is the return of the list.
so when we were at Elimination Chamber and fucking Danhausen came out, me and the guy behind us were like, Jericho's coming out of the box. We were so ready to
Yeah.
watch Jericho come out. And in retrospect, it's so funny how wrong that was because,
Yeah.
like, after watching him do his thing on AW and then, like, basically just like, I don't know if I'm going to wrestle. I don't even know if I'm going to like be here very much, but like I'm back and this is the company I want to work for. So y'all pay me really well.
It really was super ambivalent.
Oh, he was so ambivalent, but it was charming.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the opposite of what he was doing with the thing that shall not be spoken or said, which is the learning tree.
He didn't come back as the learning tree, and I think that was a win for me, regardless of what that promo looked like.
But like, this is I'm so fascinated by this because it was a display of someone originally trying really, really, really hard to get over, and then going into the ring without trying at all, and then getting over. Like, I think when you drop the like the try hard, like you trying so hard and everybody can sense it.
Yeah.
And you just walk out there, and again, he's a legend. He's been wrestling forever, and he's been a comedy guy. He's been like an actual winner. He's been doing this for a long time. He doesn't need to try.
Right. That was the smartest thing that about his return, was that he clearly thought about it, and he understood why he flamed out on the last run.
Yeah.
Because you got into this, like, it was almost like the rapid iteration and reinvention was his gimmick, as opposed to the gimmicks themselves.
Right.
And the learning tree was almost kind of like, I really do think it was like his satire of himself.
Oh, totally.
It was like him being like, he had reached the point of parody where he was like, let me just see how ridiculous I can get with my own reinvention,
right,
before I can get you guys to see what eventually doesn't work. And he found it. He found it with the learning tree. It sucks that he always kind of needs to bring people that could conceivably get over on their own accord into his like ill-fated stables.
Vortex. Yeah.
I mean, his vortex, exactly. Like, if you really think about it, I mean, like, you know, you've got Big Bill, you've got Daniel Garcia, which we don't really see anything in us between the two of us, but like they put him in the Death Rider, so obviously, like, you know, Tony's really been trying to get the car started on him for a while, so it's like I would consider that to be like, you know, kind of a big dedication to put him with Jericho. There was Sammy Guevara, who is on a milk carton at this point, but at one point, like, he was wrestling Cody in his last match at AEW, like, and Cody was putting him over. So you know, he wrestled Adam Cole when he came into the company, and you know, before the injuries, and when he was kind of considered to be like him and Bryan Danielson, and kind of like that, you know, that big coup from WWE. He had a match with Will Ospreay at All In that people would probably forget about, but like that was like Will's first All In match, I think, or like that was the first one. So it's like Jericho has tethered a lot of people into this like little thought experiment of his, and it's nice to basically see him on his own and him basically just saying, I don't need that. It's like you said. It's like I am a legend. They are there to see me. I am now been here long enough to be like considered an AEW original.
Well, and it's cool that he didn't have to tell people that. He just walked up.
Yeah,
He left for a long time. When you leave for a long time, people miss you. So like you get those points. And
right.
then he looked great. He like
Yep.
had the energy of the person that used to be, like
Purple's a great color for them.
yeah, like I think that like he did it perfectly right. And what the I wouldn't normally condone somebody taking like an old gimmick and like bringing it to the ring again after so long, but like what's so great about it is that it actually was really funny and worked so well. And I think it's like he's bringing his genuine sense of humor and he's not trying to be anything.
That's a perfect way to put it. Like I think the list is Jericho.
Yeah, it's like his
The learning tree, the demo god, the Le Champion, all this bullshit that he did was him trying to find a new foothold.
yeah,
The list is Y2J. It
yeah,
is Jericho. It is like his essence. So it's like him bringing back that gimmick really is just him bringing back himself in his purest form. And I think
yeah.
like he's a smarmy smartass. Like it's just like he's not a like hi guys. Like he's not kind of
No.
like you know he is like he has his pedigree. He's got really great comedic timing.
Mhm.
He doesn't have to be like showy or vaudevillian about it. Like he actually can be like pretty sly with his humor.
Right.
He's cutting. He can be, and I feel like this gives him the ability to do all of those things. And
Yeah.
especially when you put him with a guy like Ricochet, who, you know, the fans already love chiding and they love chanting bold at him, and they've turned him into a meme, and Ricochet has responded in kind.
Well, Ricochet's been going through some. Did you know? Like he like I forget. I honestly
I
don't
know
know
that he's had some like social media
drama.
issues, yeah.
Yeah, he had some like cancellations because of some things he
There was
said.
someone with like he like responded to someone with like MS or something like that.
Yeah, well, he was being a heel. I'm sure he was like being a heel.
Yeah, but that's tough. That's tough.
I,
I feel like
I'm
there's like
not.
one person at that company that can get away with something like that, and
It's not
it's
Ricochet.
not Ricochet. Yeah,
Well, and I'll say
and even
this.
then, I feel like it's borderline.
Let me just say that there's no excuse, like even in a heel persona there's no excuse for it, but like I think he thought he was being a heel.
Right, right. I mean, it is
um
like a relatively new thing for him, so like there's, but still, like that's kind of tough.
yeah, totally.
But as far as the match though, like I thought that it was I was surprised at how well uh, Jericho stayed with him.
Yeah,
I think
totally.
that I told you that I think that when they were booking, I think that the choice to go with Ricochet was very intentional,
Mhm.
because they almost wanted to have a proof of concept match where they could say Jericho could go up against like the most uber athletic person on the roster.
Yeah.
So, I was a little wary of like what that would look like. But also at the same time, like I thought he held up with him really well, and that's also good because I think that they're going to be doing like a kind of a prolonged feud. I was actually, it's pretty rare that I will see, like a feud continue after the pay per view.
Mhm.
But for this one, like we only got one segment before the match,
Mhm.
and I really think that this would have been nice to be able to kind of give a little bit more room to breathe. So like
Yeah.
I was actually really excited that they're going to explore more territory with it, because I feel like these guys really suit each other at this particular moment, you know?
Well, I mean Ricochet is way more athletic, so I think the match was perfect for Jericho
Yeah.
because it gave Ricochet a little bit of lift, but it also gave Jericho some like points for like being out for so long, but still being able to keep up with one of the most athletic wrestlers that is out there right now.
Yeah,
So
no, I definitely think that they could get some extra real estate out of this feud.
yeah.
So, um, yeah, I mean, like I left feeling. I mean, I was a little surprised at Jericho like taking the pin. I was a little encouraged by it, honestly, because I think that it's kind of the stage where he is right now, and I'm glad that he's embracing it.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're also continuing the feud, he might be able to get like the final one up in the final match that they have. So
Yeah.
um, really liked that one. This was a night where a lot of the baby faces went down,
Yeah.
and that was kind of the weird, bold, interesting choice. I mean, you have, and again, we're in Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have Jericho going down in Canada in his first match back since last year's Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Cage and Cope. That was probably the one that I was the most shocked by. Like, I really thought that was probably like that was in the bag, especially with FTR, holding the belts for that long. But still, kind of one of those things where I feel like, Cash and Dax got on the mic on Wednesday and
Killed it.
they killed it. And I just think that, and I said this on our second episode, I said, and you were dubious. I don't think you are anymore. That I think there's something here, and I think there's real estate, and I think they agree, and they agree to the extent that they decided to beat Cage and Cope in their first match as a tag team. I think for the titles.
Mm-hmm.
Could be wrong about that. But I thought it was just an interesting decision of like not only the baby faces, but the hometown baby faces. Mike Bailey
Oh
getting
yeah.
getting getting squashed by Kevin Knight in
Yeah.
the casino gauntlet match and the finish. He's a Canadian, I think. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he has like 9 different nationalities. That guy, but
Yeah, that I try and pinpoint that accent.
no idea. Couldn't even if you gave me like 2 or 3 more hours.
Yeah.
Let's see. It was Will Ospreay going down in his first match back. This was very interesting, bold booking, I thought, because that was my 2 takeaways. One, this was a physical pay-per-view, dude. Like
Mm,
every single match was live rounds,
mm,
and I really appreciated it because it really struck the sicko chord,
yeah, definitely.
and everybody earned their time,
Yeah.
and everybody earned the pay window. Especially, and this is kind of a transition into the last match I want to talk about. You can obviously talk about
Oh, thank you.
anything that stands out, but like the last match that I would probably talk about from Dynasty would be the women's world title,
Yeah.
Tekla and Jamie Hayter, a match that I ended up seeing 3 times, not by like intention,
Yeah.
but just because
I
like
had to watch it again.
yeah, well, full disclosure, we got the pay-per-view. These pay-per-views are like 6 hours long. And as you mentioned, we have like a toddler who is
Crazy.
just crazy and also sick and just like, we have to basically like we're in the foxhole trying to ingest all of this wrestling in like 2 hour, 3 hour stints, and we're trying to stay awake because we're old. And so I got through about half of it, and then I kind of fell asleep during their match. I didn't realize it was coming up because I fell asleep during the casino gauntlet match.
It should be said though, like again, like it's not their fault. It's true.
No, it's not.
It's 1,000% because we are tired. But like,
We are
trust
tired
me.
olds.
Yeah, trust me. Like these, like they're, you know, going back and forth between WWE and AEW. Like it's clear that AEW wrestlers like really, really go hard and like do their absolute best. And not saying that WWE doesn't, but like you really feel like you're watching two people.
Of the 2 rosters, like WWE is for the workers,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
feel like they are for the people that like they have a long view
It's
of
more
this.
friendly for families and
Right.
like, like
They don't aim to kill themselves on a random Sunday night because they
right.
know that
The passion wrestling is really where that's found in AEW. Like the people who wrestle for AEW like genuinely like feel like they can be
Right.
let loose and creative. And I mean, I know they've talked about, like, MJF talks about that all the time, like how like people can chant political things, and
Right.
it's a show where you don't have to like be careful. And
Yeah, I'll say. But
I think it's
everybody in this like show had like
yeah.
kinesio tape just bandaged up,
Yeah.
necks issues, like back
Well,
issues.
if we're gonna talk about the women's match, we have to talk about Tekla. Someone
And how like we're really starting to come around on her.
Oh, I think no. I mean, this is the thing. I don't think there is another women's wrestling wrestler that has her cadence or
No.
has her like vibe. Like she gives me like old school, like on drugs,
Yeah.
on cocaine, before and after every match, if not wasted. And like it,
Let's uh disclaim that we don't know any of that,
we don't
but
know.
it is the vibe. So like I told you, like she reminded me of a lot of like Luna Vachon
Yeah.
and Bull Nakano and just like these just really uh like crazy like physical rough and tumble like 90s
No, I mean, like the passion is,
iconoclast, you know.
yeah, the passion is there,
Yeah,
and like she lives this person, and like it's almost like you worry about people like that because of
there
what
was just some weird
happens.
beats in the match with Jamie Hayter where she had these like strange gyrations like over the course, and I was just like, I don't know, like it
Well,
just kind of seems like she's got like a, is this like a Shinsuke Nakamura thing where he's just got kind of his own like body language and that's kind of part of the brand, or is, you know, or is she like a little zooted?
no, she's zooted, and I think because the Dynamite before Dynasty, when she said like the next bitch dead, or she said like you're gonna
Yeah,
be
you're
the
gonna be the dumbest bitch dead.
dumbest bitch dead, or she said something like that, and I read that like that was completely improv and that she was actually under the influence for that. Like they actually
Really?
reprimanded
Is an
her.
actual? Oh wow.
Yeah, that she's, but like that's it's like she's that person,
Yeah.
and like she is the person that you're putting other people in the ring
I love
with.
how she's the one that gets policed.
But like I don't know, like I think she's actually like that crazy. And she
Well,
did get fired from Japan,
I was
right?
wondering, that's not a work, right? Like she
No, like
actually like fought the Stardom
yeah.
booker or the
Yeah.
promoter.
Which, she's
I love that.
I do
I
too.
love
And
that.
like and that's the thing. I want those people to stay around for as long as they can.
Yeah.
But like you worry about those types burning out, or like all of a sudden you'll read something like,
There was
she's
something like just about her when we first, I mean, yeah, let me walk back we said earlier. There was a time when we watched Collision.
yeah.
And I think we actually saw her debut.
Mhm.
And
They were like,
she was in the mid
"Whoa."
card. She was a complete surprise. It was like one of those like mystery opponent things.
Yeah.
And she came out, and you know, I will say that like sometimes you can just read the aura and you perk up and you go like,
Who is that?
who is this person? And
Yeah.
the last person before her that I had that with was Stephanie Vicaire when
Yep.
she fought Mercedes Monet when she still worked at CMLL,
Mhm.
when she came over for the Forbidden Door show.
Yeah.
She came in, and I thought, you know, at first when I saw the match card and I just saw like a still of her, I was like, no, they're just feeding somebody from Mexico to Mercedes Monet to beat, right? Though she'll make them look good, but then ultimately she's going to win. And like that is what happened in the match. But like when she walked out, and you know, you can see it now. It's like she hasn't lost anything in WWE. Like that aura is like, you
Yeah.
feel it. Like it's just, she feels big time. And um, I feel like Tekla really has that more than a lot of the women on the roster. I think that they wanted to get Chris Statlander to that place. I think they're trying to get Willow Nightingale into that place. but Tekla, I think, is really like taken that and ran that ball and ran with it, and to the extent that like you know, me, I'm a Jamie hater guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you were to tell me that you know Jamie would never hold the AEW Women's Title again, I would be very sad.
Yeah.
But on this night,
Kind of ready to give it over.
it was Tekla's night, and like I think that they both had a really great match. I love how physical it was.
Yeah.
They beat the shit out of each other, and hard fought victory, hard fought match. Um, yeah, I love the way that what I love the little things that Tekla does, like the little like side glances to the camera, the little like character work, the physicality, the facial work she does.
Yeah.
She's not just like running through the moves in a rehearsed way. She's like feeling it. You know what I mean?
Oh, but that's what I'm saying is like that's what's scary about her.
Yeah.
Because like she's in it for her,
Right.
she's in it for herself. Like that's the only time that I like there was actually that moment between her and Jamie when they like flung onto the ground and then she's like, I need a minute. And she's like, me
Crazy
too.
crossbody,
Yeah,
like
crossbody. And then I
not worked at all. Just like I'm gonna jump on you from 15 feet up.
that gave me a little hope that like she is a character and that she does live and breathe her character, but there is like a human in there and she's not
Right.
just like a crazy,
Yeah.
crazy woman. But yeah, anyway, I thought the promo she did with Jamie's partner, on Dynamite,
Alex Windsor.
Alex Windsor, was phenomenal. Like I
Yeah.
truly have not seen that much heat
Chemistry.
and chemistry
Yeah.
between two female, like obviously Liv and Stephanie.
I don't think AEW has had that chemistry since Tony and Mercedes.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
So just that kind of instant connection of like,
Yeah.
I want to see how these two work in the ring because they play well off each other. They have the same energy.
Yeah. I can't wait to see that match.
Both are just as like volatile, but you know, Alex is coming from more of that kind of virtuous baby face energy, and Tekla has that kind of like chaotic, unpredictable side.
Yeah.
But you still feel like Alex has like the ability to match it, but in kind of a more like principled way. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting into like the weeds of like the booking the archetypes, but like,
GM mode.
Yeah, I'm getting GM mode on here. But yeah, I that was as opposed to the Darby Allin win.
Yeah.
The Tekla win followed up with the Windsor promo really got me excited about the future.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Darby belt, where I'm sitting here going like, I don't even know if this is gonna last. So it's really cool, honestly. I feel like Mercedes hasn't come back yet. We don't know where Tony is, or like, is she? I don't want to speculate, but like, I heard that she might have been pregnant.
I haven't heard anything, and
Anything?
I'm all over the dirt sheets.
Well, we don't want to be one of them.
Yeah.
So indeterminate amount of time for Tony. So they're two of their biggest heavy hitters are out, but I still feel like, not only is Tekla raising her own stock, but I think she's really raising the stock of the two women around her. Like I thought that kind of like triangle of madness they had was honestly going to bring Tekla down, but I feel like she's really elevated that group.
I was gonna say, yeah, like the only thing that I haven't liked of hers has been that, because they're not that intriguing to me at all. But like Tekla, whenever she's on screen, it's like whoever gets to be next to her gets that like kind of gets just shoot in to that treatment. So it's like they'll never lose by being next to Tekla unless Tekla is like, starting to go down that story.
Unless she fights Tony Khan.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that story. I think they should definitely have that story. Yeah, I'm excited to see if she can continue to lead the AEW women's division. And I think because she has the belt, it would be really great if we got to return to that Tekla and Aminata
Oh my god.
feud.
They won't do it because they'll kill each other.
I think that I'm really interested to see now that you have kind of a bit of a runway
Yeah.
clearing with like the two with Mercedes and Tony. I think it'll be a really nice time to maybe see what you've got. And I think that now with Aminata coming back, I think it would be a really great thing for them to kind of just see what they can do with her. Even if it means like, I know that she had like the TBS championship match against Willow, and then Willow went over because
Mhm.
Willow Hogan goes over every time, dude.
I would be scared to put those. I would be scared if I was Tony Khan. I would be scared to put those two together.
They have a history, and now you can have the belt involved with it. I mean, I really think that like it would be a great opportunity because
But
people
it's
remember
I
those
know, but
matches.
John, you have to like worry about people's safety. I don't know if I would.
We have spent the last 30 minutes talking about how that is absolutely not a concern for
Okay,
AEW.
I love Queen Amanada, and they need to book her more. I am
Yeah,
truly afraid if they put her and Tekla together. I would actually be afraid
I'll be
because
there.
we would get a shoot fight
Yeah, I
for
know.
sure.
I would,
100%. Like there would be a 99% chance that those two hate each other. I mean, you can feel
I
it.
don't know if they hate each other. I just know that they love working snug. And I
Yeah.
love a couple ladies that love to work snug. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like we see it at AEW all the time, but there's something about the intensity of those two.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think this was a great pay-per-view.
Really good pay per view. This was the first time I'd ever seen this. I think this is maybe the third dynasty they've had since the
Yeah.
induction of the show. This is our first time. Usually, I kind of, because the show is like a month before Double or Nothing, which is, I would say, kind of like their SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And it really sets this table for kind of all in season because they have the Owen Hart tournament,
Mhm.
which determines like who gets the main event and who takes on the women's champion and the men's champion. It's like their elimination chamber a little bit / Royal Rumble, but um, because that's the case, I always kind of associated Dynasty with kind of like a filler show
Mhm.
to get to Double or Nothing, and I was like focused on that. But this had a great card, and I was like, I'm gonna check out Dynasty. A lot of the reason was the MJF and Kenny Omega match.
Yeah.
Um, which, very briefly, like I feel like we really kind of brushed it under the rug because of the Darby Allin
Yeah,
title
it's
win.
true.
MJF and Kenny was everything you expect. It was like, almost an hour. It was incredible wrestling. It was an endurance test. You know, that's kind of what made the Darby thing odd, was because you had kind of this like this Iron Man performance followed up with kind of like the squash, but that was as advertised, and it was just a fantastic show. I went in just really for that match,
Yeah, for sure.
and then I left thinking about so many other parts of the undercard
Yeah.
when I left it. So um, really great. It's always great to be surprising
Mhm.
when your competitor is entering their biggest show of the year. So like as far as the Darby Allin thing, just to put like a bow on the AEW portion of this, I think that bold moves are always welcome. You just want to kind of see the follow up,
Mhm.
right? So it's like if you want to steal a little bit of the conversation going into Mania week, totally understand. If it happens to coincide with being where one of your original guys wrestled and his hometown, and you can put the belt on him, you make a big spectacle of it, you can break out the confetti and everything, all power to you. It will be interesting to see how they follow up and kind of what their strategy is going forward for this.
Mhm.
But we will see. Um, what's nice about AEW is that we can still speculate, like, about their strategy, and there's still a possibility that they have a roadmap laid out.
Mhm.
Um, we can't really, I don't think, say that at this point for the company across the street.
Mm-hmm.
I think WWE is, we talked about the road to WrestleMania, like leading up in our last episode, and we gave a lot of benefit of the doubt, perhaps too much.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff has happened since then. And I think we've reached the point where it's like we're basically just trying to get through this and in hopes of wiping the slate clean and maybe setting
Yeah.
up a year perhaps where we can do something where TKO doesn't interject themselves at the very last second and completely throw everything in disarray. But I fear that like this is now after 2 straight years of this, like I feel like this is now the cadence of WWE,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like we have these best laid plans, and then at the 11th hour, they are just going to get thrown out of the window and replaced by like whoever has the most like Twitch viewers at that point.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned. I really am. I mean, like if you go down the WrestleMania card, there are good matches here. In fact, there's one match in particular that might end up being one of the most anticipated WrestleMania matches of all time in Obafemi and Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the lesson from that is that you don't have to do much.
Yeah.
We talked about that after every segment because of just how every single one did so little, yet still compounded on itself.
Mm-hmm.
The momentum was gathered
Yeah.
with every single Brock Lesnar and Obafemi segment. And it just was such a stark contrast to like the overproduction and the oververbosity that you
Yeah.
saw in the 2 Saturday and Sunday main events. That's
Ugh.
a lot of talking, and you still weren't getting that vibe. You still weren't getting like that, you know, that seismic fight feel that these guys could just get by just basically just like staring at each other.
Mm-hmm.
This was really like that's not the one where Oba powerbombed him, but the segment where he was getting in the ring and he would ultimately clothesline Brock over the top. But like that kind of like tease of him getting in the ring, hanging on the outside of the apron, them looking at each other, the crowd going fucking crazy. I think it was the one in Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like Hogan and Andre.
Yeah.
It felt like now this is like what it should feel like.
There's so many.
End of commentary.
There's there's so many thoughts here. I mean, like
Yeah.
it really does connect back to everything else because then I
Yeah.
think of like the connective tissue of like Paul Heyman switching sides from like the Vision to Brock Lesnar. Like all of a sudden he is no longer
Heyman knew, man.
yeah, Heyman is no longer in segments
That
with
man's been in the business long enough to know when he sees a dud and where the money is.
well,
And like he'll let you know. He was the weather vane dude. Like he was like, I'm gonna drop this Vision shit. I look around and all I see is Austin Theory and Logan Paul. They tell me that I Show Speed is going to be involved in this. Like, fuck this, I'm out.
well, and I got to give him credit, even though I know I've had my times with. I look at him as the connective tissue, though, because I think about like what would have been had there not been like the like 1,000 different curses that happened before,
And not even the good one.
yeah, not even the one that everyone loves.
Not even the Danhausen.
Yeah,
curse.
they should have brought Danhausen in months ago because at least it would have made this make more sense. But like, dude, I mean, with all of the injuries, with the Vision was supposed to be like the main event.
Yeah.
So
They thought that they were like that was going to be their Shield, their NWO.
there was no I Show Speed. There was going to be Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and Logan Paul for like fluff. Like Logan Paul was going to be their I Show Speed. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Like,
Right.
and then Drew McIntyre as the title holder against Cody Rhodes would have been so much better. I mean, I love
Or
Randy.
Randy Orton because he won the Chamber.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So Drew McIntyre,
Would have been
you're
a great
right.
match.
Not Cody Rhodes, but I guess then where do you put Cody Rhodes, which is what the fuck happened right there, right? I think
Yeah.
we talked about that already on the last episode, but like,
There is an irony to Cody going out and shooting on presumably Ari Emanuel
yeah.
about shoehorning himself and his preferences into the booking when it's coming from the mouth of Cody Rhodes. That's
Oh,
all I'll
yeah.
say about that.
No, totally. And it's like, yeah, probably the whole reason you actually had a place in this was,
The only reason you could get out there and shoot on somebody is because you yourself were shoehorned into the main event, even though you lost the chamber match. And like, I don't know. I mean, I think that we spent a lot of time talking about the Rhodes and Orton feud in the last episode, and
you're right.
that was before Pat McAfee. So we definitely,
So we're going to do it all
so
over
we
again,
can
dude.
definitely relitigate this for like the next 45 minutes. But like, to be honest with you, like, I am so like exhausted by it, and I honestly don't want to give it any more air than I need to because I just feel like this is a very simple calculus for them. It's that they think that Pat McAfee, because of his visibility, because of his connection to ESPN, is like a money guy. And they're banking on that. And they put him in the spot. And I do not doubt at all that Randy is going to win. So that stipulation of him being like, if Randy loses, then you'll never hear from me again. He's trolling the audience. They're trolling the audience. They know they're playing off of the heat they know they have. There were all these reports about, them scrambling to reorganize and to reshuffle the card and to the finishes and everything because of the reception of Pat McAfee. And I was like, no, not this company. This isn't how they operate. It's like
Yeah.
the WWE that I know leans in.
Yeah.
They lean in. And it's the same thing of like when they show like footage of the McAfee segments and the pull out quotes on Twitter, and like one of them will be
Yeah.
like absolutely unhinged. They're connoting it as if that person is being like, this is crazy and awesome and everything. But really that person is going like, what the fuck is going on with this company right now? This is completely unhinged. But they will repurpose it and they will pull out little blurbs to make it seem like this is working because it has to. Because Ari Emanuel and the board and whatever people that The Rock has in there, they want to go in this direction. ESPN is pissed off because they paid a lot of money for like an audience share that like doesn't exist or like is not like, reaching the levels that they did back in, around WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
And before and like during the Cena swell. And so basically they're trying to schmooze that relationship by at least having a walking billboard for the Pat McAfee show strutting around on WrestleMania Saturday.
Yeah.
It's a simple calculus. So it's like, I don't even want to go into the booking because it's like, to me, Orton and Rhodes and all that shit is just like, the story is going to go where it needs to go for the company. But like, I think this is the problem with AEW, especially coming off of like watching Dynasty, which
Yeah.
is that, and I was thinking about this, and you might laugh at this, but like, I think the most indicative thing that I can say about the WrestleMania card is I think that the fact that we are not going to get Americano versus Americano, the mask versus mask
Oh, Triple
match,
A's doing it.
the fact that we're not getting that at WrestleMania suggests that this is a company that has stopped having fun. Even when something is working, they're going to relegate it to a lower card and they're not going to have any confidence in it because they're just so obsessed and subsumed with just trying to get as many viewers and like social media views and like dovetailing of like IP of various famous streamers and trying to create this like singularity and everything. They're so concerned with that like they are not having fun. Like all of this booking is basically just like it is a marketing arm at this point.
Yeah.
And I think that, as stupid as it sounds, I think that the absence of that match, which again, the Americana thing was like kind of like as dumb as it was kind of like in the same wheelhouse as like Danhausen, where it was like this very spontaneous thing that everybody latched onto because of how silly it was. And then it got expanded and like the audience like took a little ownership of it. And
Yeah.
it became like a collective thing between like the WWE fans and like the creative. And like whenever that happens, like that's when the best stuff happens.
Mhm.
And they know that, but they're not going to put it on there on the main show. They're instead going to like co-opt it with like these unestablished celebrities because they're so stressed out about not making their numbers. Like WWE right now is like a sales guy that is not making his numbers, and his boss is just like breathing down his neck right now.
Oh, it makes me sad. I know what that feels like.
Yeah, so you're like, actually, I feel a lot of empathy for him now.
It's like when Triple H was like, "There's a lot of stuff going on, dude. It's not my fault."
Dude, it is the 29th of the month, and they are not at quota right now.
The quarter is
and he
over.
is sweating. The quarter is over for him, and like this is where the quarter ends. So, I think really that's my appraisal. Like, in fairness, you have to go really to a lot of Sunday to get to the meat of the card, but you do have Fatu and McIntyre in the unsanctioned match. Really curious to see, if they can earn that billing. The last unsanctioned match we had was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at
Mm.
Elimination Chamber in Toronto, and I think that they really put on a really grueling match and earned that moniker. So I'm excited to see what they'll do, especially because that match is going to be like within the first hour
Yeah.
telecast on ESPN. So you've got your widest audience, presumably.
Mhm.
So how far do you lean into the unsanctioned aspect of that? I think I'd be really curious. You got Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan. I think that's probably one of my top anticipated matches. I think that
The fact that that's not the first match is crazy.
this build has been, I mean, honestly, like all you would have to do to get a regular viewing, like a casual viewing audience ready and believing that this should be the opening match is just to show that shove.
Yeah.
Just to hear the sound of like Liv colliding with Roxanne, that alone would sell the whole feud. It was a real moment, dude. Like, and I was excited for this. I think we talked about it in the previous episode. Like, this is a match that I said that I didn't need any build for at
Yeah.
all. But they've had like these crazy, legitimate pull apart segments that I believed every time. And this is a company that basically recycles that for every single feud. And they only looked good maybe like 20% of the time. 100% of the time when these two women got together, it felt volatile.
Mhm.
And it was live rounds just like Tekla and Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
And I really just think it's so great that they're able to capture that energy at the company where like they're not getting the same time.
To Liv coming out in the last without any makeup on was
I
that
love
was
it.
disgusting.
No,
Not because she wasn't wearing makeup, but she looked like a fucking she looked like she had crawled out from like a bender or
she's
something.
not hiding the wound.
Yeah. Well, and I can't even I don't even want to say that it's a wound
Not a wound,
because
but
it probably is not. It's probably not real. It's probably like makeup or
saying
whatever.
in like the figurative sense, but
right?
Like, no, I don't. That Shiner looked pretty real.
I don't
to
know.
Me.
I'm on the fence because I also watched her music video and have been watching a lot of really like editorial, the paper editorial of her and stuff, and I'm like, kind of interesting. You have the bruises in some.
Oh well,
some
they
things
probably
and
shot that like they probably photographed like that months ago.
Bruises be damned. I think she is playing it so well, like better than she's ever. I mean, again, I started out being kind of like, what's the deal with Liv? Why is everybody obsessed with Liv Morgan? And then figuring it out
Right.
in the Dominic Mysterio, Rhea Ripley.
We all did. I mean, like before you came on, there was a lot of like Liv was kind of in that place where Lyra Valkyria is right now.
Yeah.
Where it's like
she's there.
I can see that you would like her. It's clear that you want to see her in a certain spot one day.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's ever going to get there. I don't know if she's ever going to be ready. That would probably be like what I would approximate, like her standing before you came on.
Wow. That's
And
pretty impressive.
and
So,
now she is undeniable.
yeah, she's like
If
one
you
of,
would have asked me in 2019, if you would have shown me like this Liv Morgan in 2019, I would have not believed it.
mhm.
I would have been stunned. I would have been elated, but I would have been stunned because it just like she hit a gear that I didn't. To be honest with you, I didn't think that she had, and now that she's hit it, I'm so glad. I just
Yeah.
like she's magnetic when she's on screen, and like I think that um, Stephanie Vicaire, she is like sneaky physical. She's like a sneaky shooter, and I
Mhm.
think so is Liv, and I think that's what's great about this feud is that
Yeah.
these women will give it to you, and they're not afraid to like you know leave it all out there, and I think that that's what they're going to do on Saturday.
So night 1, oh god.
We have that. We have Fatu McIntyre. We have Vicaire Morgan. We got AJ and Becky again.
Honestly, I don't care about the rest of these. I really don't.
We
Like,
have Rollins and Gunther, which will be a good
it'll be
match, but
fun.
there's zero build, and obviously this is supposed to be the Braun Breaker spot, so it's like you have that hanging over it. So it's like, is this an exhibition? Is this something they're going to like expand?
Well, and the only thing that I find really exciting about this is that I genuinely don't know who's going to go over.
Yeah,
Because every time I think Gunther's going to like maybe maybe get somebody over, he doesn't. And Seth Rollins has been out for a long time.
my guess would be
Seth Rollins.
no. My guess would be Gunther. Yeah.
Really?
So let me tell you. Let me explain why. So like, I think that they want to start the long term story of Heyman versus Seth. And I think the
Oh.
opening salvo of that is
Yeah.
Rollins thinking that it's going to be just him going after Heyman, but then Heyman is able to pull an ace by partnering with Gunther. Gunther
Mhm.
gets the first win, and then you have that arc from there. It's kind of
Yeah,
like the Will Ospreay thing, where it's like
totally.
he's coming in, House of Fire, ready to avenge, and then he runs into a brick wall, and then it becomes about how he collects himself after that. So, like, that would be my guess, and that's the way that you can be able to, because I really think, as I guess, as over as they think he is, and as over as they'd like him to be, considering he put them over Roman and Punk at the last WrestleMania, and kind of how they want to preserve that. I think that's way different than being that guy that taps Cena out. I think that like Gunther should not take a loss for a very long time,
Mm. Yeah.
truly. So I, I think it only makes sense for Gunther to go over and then for it to start this longer feud that will hopefully take them to Braun Breaker's return. And, there's a chance, Kate, where it's like, if we see Braun come back and Bronson, and we see Gunther and Bronson and Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman, and we just kind of like yada yada the Logan Paul and the Austin Theory of it. They just go off and do their own thing, and they kind of like peter out that connection, and it's just that's the core of the vision.
Could be good again.
Could be good again, honestly. It might be worth it. It might be worth like returning to that.
It was good. I mean, I
I
feel
would
like
say that.
I
I would
think
say that.
no, I disagree. I think I was really captivated by Braun Breaker, and I think he was the core
Yeah.
of what they were trying to do.
Especially
Like
when it's on the mic.
they were really trying to get him to do his thing.
Yeah.
And I think I think there was a couple flubs for sure, but like for the most part, he was one of my favorite parts of the show
Yeah.
because Braun Breaker has this like really interesting way of being like very vulnerable and like really like tough guy at the
Kind of
same
like
time.
kind of like MJF a little bit.
Yeah,
I
totally.
mean, obviously, like he's not as good on the mic or smooth on the mic.
No, but give him a couple years.
But like what makes him compelling as a character is that he has kind of this like firmament of like sensitivity to him.
No, he's extremely sensitive,
Right.
and you can feel it. And like I think that's what makes him so compelling, because I love when you can see behind the curtain a little.
Yeah.
I think it just gives them depth and dimension.
Right.
It's kind of like the opening of Dynamite this week, like the Darby winning when they had everybody crying in the beginning.
Darby was just a sobbing mess.
Not that I'm saying Braun Breaker is a crier, but I'm saying that like everybody being kind of more emotional.
Yeah.
Showing like the more emotional side of like being a wrestler is really fascinating, and like I like leaning.
It's novel.
Yeah. I'm making a big jump, but Braun Breaker, you can kind of like, if you squint your eyes, you can see someone who's like very like kind of just soft. You know what I mean? Like
I think I know what you mean. As
in the best way.
He wants to do well.
Really wants to do well. He wants to like make his family proud, and he wants to make himself proud, and like he's just bursting at the seams with like trying to be the best.
Well, hey, I mean that's a heavy burden to be like a Steiner. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and like you can see it, and I think this entire thing, like you could start to see it with the Punk feud a little bit.
Yeah.
When he was calling him out, and you could kind of see that he was really trying, but like you might see him like fuck up a word, or like just like the trying so hard.
Right.
When he really just needs to come out there.
The LA Knightness.
Yeah, exactly. The LA Knight, like, like it's not a curse. I got to be careful with saying curse now.
He's LA Light.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you want to make sure that you don't lose that authenticity, because that's what people want to see. People want to see the you behind.
Well, he's going to be back, and when he comes back, he'll get a great pop.
Yeah,
because I think that people are ready for that. That's one of those like rare ascensions that the creative and the crowd are ready for at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a lot of times you get into like that Austin Theory territory where the trigger is being pulled on something and that people are like, nah, I don't need that.
No, we don't need that.
This is something where it's like everybody's ready, everybody's waiting for it.
Yeah,
everybody was super bummed to hear that he was, he had an injury and he's actually going to be out for me. I mean, I hear they have some returns planned, but it seems a little early. But
I truly, my expectations are so low at this point.
I think your expectations should be low for Saturday, but I do think Sunday has some promise.
Oh, you mean the one that we're
the one that we're going to be watching like 3 weeks later?
Yeah, totally.
And it's going to be completely spoiled for us like the evening of.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, I don't even want to think about that
So Sunday we have Oba and Brock in the opener. We have Punk and Reigns in the WrestleMania main event proper,
which has been all right.
Yeah. I think that's it's kind of the build that I expected. I think I expected like a Phil pipe bomb at some point.
Yeah.
I
mean,
I think that it's one of those things where it's like with Roman, it's like, hey dude, it's like 6 weeks. Can you just make the town for six weeks?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
If we give you from the Royal Rumble to like March 1st, can you just maybe do us a solid and just kind of make this seem like you care about it?
Yeah, I know, but it's like it's somebody who's so naturally good at this. It's like MJF. I mean, I wouldn't compare Roman Reigns and MJF because MJF I think is better on the mic, but Roman Reigns is such a natural. I don't know, dude. And it's like CM Punk I think could do this if he wanted to. Both of them, like he could take the tact of Roman Reigns and nobody would notice because everybody is equally excited to see CM Punk. In fact, I would recommend Punk be less available because I truly think that like
how can I miss you if you're never gone?
Right. Well, like it was like when he was starting, like when he said he was like, Roman Reigns was covered in jizz or something.
Oil and jizz.
Yeah, where it's
I
like,
think, yeah, you're right. That warranted a
but
timeout.
like that week should have been a no Punk week. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like he showed up because he's trying to prove to everybody that he's like this workhorse. But it's like, you're that over. You don't need to come out and do like a big pipe bomb promo
Right.
every
You're
week.
not Sami Zayn. You know what I mean? It's like nobody needs to
Yeah,
you don't need to prove it to anybody. Like
right.
it it just, yeah, it would be nice to, like, I think that availability is good in the like last few weeks leading up to the main event, because you really want to make it seem like this is ending the entire 2 night show. So it's like you want to make sure that like everybody's looking alive and involved and locked in and
Yeah.
everything. So
But
like
you know what? I think that also kills every WrestleMania season. I think it kills every WrestleMania season that we don't have pauses. Like we don't have like real pauses that make people like, man, I wonder what's happening with this. Or like,
yeah,
I mean, truly, it's the same thing with like, remember the slog? I mean, like the John Cena and Cody Rhodes, like
yeah.
the slog of it all. It takes the piss out of the show. And I think that like you just take two or three off the top that are unnecessary, and you bring in like the Paul Heymans and the
That is a good point, because during the Cena and Cody feud, a lot of those segments I felt like were at least 15 minutes long.
yes,
And I feel like they were that way because it almost suggests it's like when you overwrite something.
yes,
When you overwrite something because you yourself are forming the idea as you're doing it.
mm-hmm.
Um I think that you're right. It's like it's almost like they're dedicating all these like segments and then basically just hoping that they land on the thing, that the moment that resonates, that then they can lean into for the remainder of the build. And they really didn't get it with Punk and Reigns, I don't think.
No, I
I
mean,
don't think that they left. In all of the time that they've interacted, like you, it's hard to summarize like what this feud
is actually
means,
about.
is about, and like what it means for like the future of the company, which those, and excuse me for being a mark for a second, but I think that it is the season finale of wrestling, at least of WWE,
Yeah.
right? So it's like the final scene of the final of the most recent season, and it should have some sort of like entree quality to the next year, right? So it's like I don't really know what part about Punk and Reigns exudes that like finality or like that sense of like a closing of the book or like an opening of a new chapter. It just seems like, again, these are the two biggest guys we have. Let's put them together, which you could also say about Jade and Rhea and, obviously Oba and Brock. But I think that Oba and Brock is different because you have just the spectacle of like the size and just, the wanting to see Brock, who has always been kind of like the physically superior person to everybody that he's been in the ring with, actually meet someone who is physically equal and perhaps superior to him. So it's like you have that extra thing. You have that like, almost like that kind of like dynastic quality to it where it's like, will the old guard pass on to the new torch? And like you could absolutely have it with Punk and Reigns. But the thing is, like the way that those both of those guys are with the company right now, it's like it's two old guards.
Mm-hmm.
Really it represents stagnant creative in either direction.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to just like, even with Cody Rhodes and John Cena, you still had that kind of dynamic of like, are we going to backslide into
Mm-hmm.
like Cena being the champion again? And are we going to ruin wrestling? Or are we going to, continue with kind of the momentum of this new era?
Dude, I just don't think they pay attention to the momentum
No, no, they don't.
because if they did, they would have an entirely different card.
Yeah.
Like they would have Danhausen and they would have Kit Wilson and they would have
maybe they have like a pre-show plan.
They would have R-Truth and Damian Priest, which y'all know how much I would never have said that in the previous, but
they'll be on the SmackDown before Mania, which is they consider it to be like this between SmackDown, Night 1, Night 2, and Raw is considered like WrestleMania proper.
Yeah.
In terms of like big spots for people. I mean, obviously like the SmackDown is like kind of the lesser of the four, but you know, that's where they will do all of that business. I'm hoping. Can I ask you something? This is actually something that
or they would also have mask versus mask. Like there are so many there's so many and I think this is where I got to give AEW a lot of credit is like again, the overwriting of these seasoned vets and not having any background.
And internet celebrities, don't forget that.
Oh yeah, and internet celebrities that feel like just like dangling candy in front of me. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
do you guys like this? What about this? What about this? Do you guys like that?
Yeah, you must because you all are on the internet.
Yeah,
right?
Our market analysis says that you guys will love if we put iShow Speed in the match.
Right, exactly. And it's like it could not be further from like what wrestling fans actually want. And like you could say that like negative press is good press or like negative press
and
they
is would.
Yeah. They would. So like
10 times out of 10.
Yeah. I mean it's the Trumpian, you know, right. Like Paul McAfee made y'all pretty mad. You guys had a lot to say about Paul McAfee.
Paul McAfee.
Why did I say
No,
Paul?
I think there's a reason why though.
Why did I say Paul McAfee?
It's because it's the Paul Levesque, Pat McAfee singularity.
Why did I say Paul McAfee?
I'm telling you why. That's exactly why you said it right there, because it's become one thing. Paul Levesque wanted to do one thing, but he's being forced. Pat McAfee is being forced onto him, and now he is like, they've created this like symbiosis now, this hellish symbiosis.
That represents the lack of ticket sales of WrestleMania.
Right. And honestly, like, I wonder if that house looks scant. And they can't hide it, I wonder if that will be enough to maybe, you know, have them reevaluate some things. I think what it would do is it would have like the top of TKO reevaluate things and probably reevaluate them incorrectly.
Yeah.
As opposed to them actually taking the lesson of like, can we just let this man who we've given this job do his job?
No.
Uninterrupted for an entire year, and then let's see where it gets us.
No, and I'm being naive by even saying that they would make that match, that entire like what I just rattled off. Like I'm being super naive to say that they would ever do that, because you're totally right. Like they have, and Paul Levesque said this, and I made fun of him for it on our Instagram, but like there's so many other things at play that have to do with money and not like viewership.
Dude, he's punting on WrestleMania like weeks before it happens.
Yeah.
It's like when Game of Thrones premiered their last season and all the actors were just like, yeah, you know, we worked on it.
It happened.
And you're just like, wow, that's not very inspiring.
We filmed it. And
we got in our costumes and we filmed it, and it's like Ian McKellen in Extras where it's like, and I read the words in the script.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I'm being naive. I just think that like again,
I think Danhausen will do something. I want to ask you real quick because I thought about this, because we know that Jonathan Radcliffe Cena is going to be a part of WrestleMania. He's going to host it.
Yay.
And I want to ask you, if he does a Danhausen segment, is all forgiven?
No, because Danhausen shouldn't go near him.
If he curses John Cena,
no,
I'd have to think about it.
I don't, and this is my other thing that I don't want to happen. Danhausen, I don't want them to just be like, you guys like this, right? And Danhausen is literally cursing everyone, and he's on every show, and like,
yeah,
I don't want it. Danhausen is someone you bring out when you need somebody to like fuck up.
Has there been one show that he hasn't been on since he debuted?
Well, and that's like when you show, like when we were watching with Max, and you were like, oh, let's watch this like compilation of Danhausen. I was like, he's been on every show
Right.
and some.
Right.
And I think they need to chill because
Yeah.
I truly think that Danhausen is not, he's like a Kit Wilson.
Because so much is not working that they get so excited when something's working.
Right. I know.
That they run it into the ground and then
and then everyone hates it.
And then they just discard it well, it's not working anymore.
Yeah. So I don't want that to happen to him because I think he's worth more than that.
Yeah.
I think he's someone that you sprinkle.
Yeah. Which they're not.
They're not going to.
They gave him a t-shirt cannon within the first 2 weeks.
So if he's going to that's why I think the John Cena thing is a terrible idea because it's that's the
which is why it will happen.
I know.
Exactly.
Well, he shouldn't curse John Cena because John Cena's already spent a year being cursed. So let's just not.
Yeah.
Let's just not go there.
Cena cursed us, so in fairness, we should return the favor.
Yeah.
Have a shitty retirement tour, terrible WrestleMania build, huh? Well, you are cursed.
Don't recurse him, please. We've already suffered enough.
All right, so let's just round out WrestleMania Sunday. We've talked about Open Brock, we talked about Punk and Reigns. We have in the undercard, we have the 5-way ladder match, the 6-way ladder match, with Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, Penta, Rey Mysterio, Rusev, and JD. As we discussed at the top of the show, this is when our daughter will be born. When Rusev is holding up the Intercontinental title.
No, don't say that.
Couldn't think of a more auspicious beginning to anybody's life. We have the Demon returning for the first time in forever. We have the beginnings of the true earnest Finn Balor reclamation project, where they're just actually, it's who are we talking about? It's like the Jericho. It's he's basically just look, I'm getting too cute. Let's go with why people love me and have people love me. And you get the Demon and Dominic, and I'm really excited about it. I'm excited for you to see the Demon.
I'm excited too because I had no interest in Finn Balor until we went to Elimination Chamber and they randomly put him in a match with CM Punk, and it was a great match. And he really is impressive in real life. I was not, I don't know, watching him on TV, I was I don't really care about this dude. And then when we saw him in real life, it was oh, he's really he keeps himself in good shape, and he's really
he can go,
talented, and he's got a ton of endurance. So if he wants to paint himself up and become a character, fuck yeah, let's go.
That right there goes for everybody. If you want to paint yourself up, become a character, I'm all for it.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
And I love Dominic Mysterio, so putting them together after years of build. I mean, it's kind of funny too because we're talking about
years of very subtle building. We had to do a lot of inferring for that.
I just find that it's funny that we have this Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, where the build just feels forced and flat and empty, when you have this is a perfect example of a narrative that has been going on. Dominic Mysterio, dude, always at the center of these really good drama filled, long drawn builds.
Mm-hmm.
And Finn Balor and him, I mean, I think is a more meaningful, they're not as over as the other guys, but it's a more meaningful build, and it's a more impactful crescendo, to their actual final match. I mean, probably not final, but I'm surprised that more weight isn't on this, because
this is the third or fourth breakup of the Judgment Day.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because Judgment Day is kind of SmackDown. Are they SmackDown?
Raw.
They're Raw. So that's right. They are Raw. So they're pretty popular. They're on at least once a week. There's lots of interplay with the different people in the Judgment Day. Say what you will about them, but they give them airtime.
Right.
And I'm just surprised. It's just a more meaningful build. Not to mention Jacob fought too. Cody Rhodes could have been such a good
Yeah.
alternative, so that Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton could have just like been big the big spectacle, like Obafemi
The
and
unsanctioned match, that would have been pretty sick.
anyway. If I were to have booked it, I would have really paid attention to like the meaning behind the feuds and like
Right.
what people actually really have been watching and feeling
Yeah, no,
versus
you're right. This is definitely, this Demon and Dominic thing feels like something that,
bigger.
well, it feels like something that made the cutting room floor from like the original like year-long plan.
Yeah.
I feel like this was the match that was like circled, or not circled, but just being like the rough draft of what each night is going to look like. Let's say that they're doing it like on the Tuesday after last year's Mania and they just have it on the whiteboard.
Yeah.
I think that this is one of those matches that made it all the way through without any changes. They're like, we want to get here by
Yeah.
this time next year. And I think this is one of the few things where one of the few areas where Triple H was able to get his vision in, and then
Yeah.
everything else. It's so obvious like where the other shit is, where it's
Yeah.
like where the interference happens. But this is definitely one of them. I think that the other two probably are as well. The only ones that we haven't talked about are Sami Zayn and Trick Williams. That to me seems like something that probably might have been in the works. Maybe not for an entire year, but I think that they
It's fine.
it might be kind of like the night two's version of Gunther and Rollins, where it's like we like these guys, people like our fans like these guys, and we want to get them in the show, and so let's put them together. Trick is over, man.
Yeah.
Trick is over, and he's definitely, and like this is kind of a, I don't know if it's a tough one to call, but it's definitely a heartbreaking one to call because everybody's waiting for that like Sami Zayn championship push, but it's like,
Not after all that bitching.
yeah, you're definitely
I'm
not.
over Sami. I really like Sami Zayn, but the last few months of Sami Zayn has been like very grating.
He had a character right before Vince left where he was like conspiracy theorist guy. So it was like almost like a Drew McIntyre's thing where he's always talking about how he's getting screwed over, but this was actually like
Yeah.
more of like tinfoil hat, like pictures on red thread kind of thing. He had like camo gear on, and it was just like a weird heel gimmick that he had.
Yeah.
Um, I think that the past few weeks of Sami Zayn have been more annoying than that. And that,
Wow.
yeah, for me, like I just, it's just, I, I think it might not have been as annoying had it not been kind of like this weirdly tangential thing to like the world title picture.
Yeah.
But then eventually he was just kind of removed from it. So it really didn't have any meaning at all. It was just kind of like an extra arbitrary thing on the periphery that wouldn't amount to anything. And I think that's probably what made it annoying to me. But I think that for a mid card match, Sammy and Trick, giving Trick a little showcase.
I have two problems with this match.
Okay.
Obviously Sammy, because he's just been annoying. But my biggest problem with this is that Trick Williams doesn't need a celebrity. He doesn't need to bring a celebrity with him to hype him up.
He's got Lil Yachty, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just adding to the like celebrity like gloat. And like Trick Williams is absolutely like it's giving Jey Uso in like the very beginning of like the
Oh, I don't know about that.
like I feel like people really love to like hype him up.
think Trick is better in ring than Jey.
Well, I'm not saying I'm talking about like the hype that's surrounding
No,
him.
yeah, but I think part of the problem with Jey is that you have to. It's like when they say like eventually the bell's gonna ring, and with Jey, once the yeets die down, you got to show it to us in the ring. And I think Trick is more capable of doing that. So that's the only reason I bring it up is because his entrance. I understand why you bring up Jey Uso because it's like I could definitely see that becoming like a thing where it's like we start the big shows off with that so that people tuning in can feel that energy, see that setting and
But let me
vibe.
let me like kind of like clarify.
Okay.
Because I'm strictly talking about the very like rare like overness of like creating that like hype when around a wrestler, even despite their quality in the ring. Like that aside, like you don't get what Trick Williams has. Like you get it like once in a while.
And you're concerned that it might be too fast.
I'm saying that like you don't need to like
Oh, yeah.
you don't need to be careful with him.
Right.
Like you just put him in. I think they made a mistake with putting Sammy with him because they're like polar opposite people. And I think that it would have been a much more compelling storyline if they were to have basically replaced Sammy with like a Carmelo Hayes.
Hey, there's a built-in story from that already from NXT. So, I mean, I was surprised as anybody. Like, I thought when Sammy and Carmelo were having that rematch, I would have bet my life on the fact that there'd be some sort of like shenanigans that would have forced them into a triple threat. One, because we know from last year that WWE loves a triple threat at WrestleMania time.
Yeah.
So I thought this was definitely going to be the one that filled that bucket. And
can you imagine like Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes replacing this match and like
there are a lot of people who would have loved it. Yeah.
The hype behind
for the US title.
You have the story, you have the build, you have the like incredible hype that people have for their like entrances, and like
it's baffling.
They're both incredible wrestlers. Not saying that Sammy isn't, but like Sammy and Trick is like that's like a Raw. That's like a I
feel like Trick has been doing. I feel like Yachty's been doing a lot of damage to Sammy with the gingerbread man thing.
Yeah,
that's one of those things where I'm just like, if I'm booking, it's like, hey, just so you know, like we have to, we still want to work and do stuff with this guy when you leave. Like, try not to bury him with our fans too much.
Well, I think it was just a big missed opportunity. I think Sami Zayn would have been better somewhere else. If anywhere in WrestleMania, maybe they just like just Bailey him for the last like.
I'm surprised they didn't turn him heel.
Yeah, he just seems like he probably doesn't like being a heel, or that he's not good at it. It's like some people just, I would
say that he's probably not good at it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just laid out.
There's so many people that I think suck as heels because they don't enjoy it. Yeah. It's like Charlotte and Bailey. And
good point.
It's like, they're just like not meant to be heels.
That's true. I do assume that everybody has that dichotomy in them. And you know what I assume too is or like, it's weird. It's almost like, I assume that it's easier for people to be heels because you get to kind of lean into the absurdity of it a little bit more.
Wrestlers are sensitive. They want to be liked. I mean, it's like the prototype Cody Rhodes. Like, it's like he can't do it. He can't do it. John Cena can't do it. John Cena has.
This is one of the most egotistical businesses. Like, really, the conceit of wrestling. To be a wrestler, like, it's just a level of egotism.
You want to be liked. Yeah. I mean, and you have to be a special type to enjoy not being liked.
Right.
And even MJF is, I talk about him in this way because like he has broken like the fourth wall a couple times with being a heel. And
I could do a 3-hour podcast on like the nuance of his persona.
Yeah.
And the work that he does.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, it's scumbag this, asshole that, devil this. But the root of his character is that
he's bullied. He's a bullied kid.
I just want to be able to show you that I am the best. And anybody that it's the same thing with Punk.
Yeah.
It's like there's this underlying tension of like, the only reason you are telling me this right now and that you need to tell me this is because you need to do it, because you feel like you need to do it. And that's the vulnerability.
Yeah.
And what's great about MJF is that he does understand this. And like some of his best work, I thought, even though it was like probably his most cursed work was the stuff he was doing with Adam Cole when they were friends.
Yeah.
Because it was like that and the breakup, and then him basically like giving a hint of like being betrayed, and that's why I don't have friends, and
That's why I don't.
he leans more even further into the devil persona, and I'm just like this arc that it's like I've seen the intention of it the entire time, and you're right. It's like there are people that are good heels that don't do a tenth of that type of work in their like character building.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's what you need to have as a heel, because like someone who's just evil for the sake of being evil is boring. You have to be able to see yourselves in them, and you have to be able to see like that they have the right of way in a lot of things in order to make them compelling, you know?
Yeah.
Just like
Well,
with any other story.
I shouldn't say it's like, yeah, I think the heels that go above and beyond like that are the best.
Yeah.
But you're right. They're like, you know, I still enjoy a good heel that doesn't give a fuck, like Don Callis, you know. Like, I don't care about his backstory. Like I just like the
Anytime that
vibe.
man says he has something important to say,
Yeah.
I listen.
I listen. Yeah, or like, you know, but yeah, you're right. It's just I think with like if you have to really enjoy being a heel in order to let the audience in at that level, or like be aware of like the duality of
Yeah.
the
I
antagonist.
think maybe Sami Zayn would be the type of guy that would put that thought into that character, but in terms of the execution,
No, the execution, because he's
would be the
whiny.
problem.
He's whiny.
Yeah.
That's what the problem is.
We got too many whiners and criers already in wrestling.
Dude, I know. Just come on, guys. No, it's I don't even want to like. I don't even want to like.
The
Bash
AEW
it.
champion is a sobbing mess.
I even felt bad saying it when we watched the episode, because I was like, I appreciate what they're trying to do, but like maybe just stagger it a little.
Right.
I don't want to see Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega in like a white room with a fluorescent light above them, and they're both like kind of embracing and kind of crying.
No, Kenny was just like, yeah, I've been crying. He's like, yeah, I've been crying too, bro. I just cried like 20 minutes.
I think there could have been a little more subtlety there. No,
Lots of crying.
But anyway, I think
There's no crying in baseball. No crying in wrestling. Get out of here with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so I love to see Trick with the spot. I think it'll be a great match. Really sad to see Carmelo omitted from it. I'm hoping that they give him kind of a Bailey make good next year.
Yeah.
The last match that we have to get to is Jade and Rhea, which I think that this is going to be one of those matches where I'm going to forgive a lot of the build in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is a match that was a logical pairing from the moment that she arrived. I think that maybe the issue with the booking of this is that they were sort of thrown together and they never really had a moment to interact with one another prior to them being paired at WrestleMania or, Rhea choosing her. I think this is just one of those things where it's like when I see them in the ring across from each other, it's going to feel like WrestleMania, and I'm going to be okay with it.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a good rep for Jade Cargill, who I do think is like getting better. She definitely has not shrank in, up against Rhea, which I think was kind of my concern at the start of this. I don't think they ever got to the point of articulating like what their animosity is with each other. I think they've really floated. But so have Punk and Reigns, so I don't want to really hold them against it to a different standard.
Yeah.
It's
just two big ladies.
Right. And maybe it was just one of those things where it's like it could have just been like the Oba and Brock thing, and maybe we just needed to see them be powerful against one another.
Yeah.
And that would have kind of taken us home. They tried to put a story behind it, which I'm glad that, there's like story machination happening around female feuds, especially in that writer's room, especially because of Unreal, and you see all the people like Michael Hayes like totally comfortable telling you like which female talent are expendable and which ones aren't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good, like in a room with that mindset, that you would have kind of this thought of like, well, let's give these women a story. But
Yeah.
I think it's a good rep for Jade. I think that Rhea's always great at WrestleMania. I think it's gonna be a good match. Um,
No EO.
Probably the weirdest. I mean, like I say, Americano and Americano is like my most surprising omission, but I'd say Io and Asuka was like just seemed like a lock. And
Crazy.
and you can look at this card. And this is basically just like, I don't know, man. Would you rather have a fatal 4-way for the women's tag titles, or would you rather have Io and Asuka in a singles match? Like, I think for me, it's like the latter 10
Well,
times
and
out of 10.
they've been building the Kyrie thing, which would have helped Kyrie.
Right.
Like,
And it's so weird to end feuds on the Raw after Mania.
yeah,
It's almost like, no, this is like, it's like us right now with Shootnami. It's like, this is the 310 to Yuma. This is your last chance to get this thing out,
yeah,
or forever hold your peace. And like so it's just, it would be weird for them to be like, oh, like let's restoke this feud that obviously should have been a part of the WrestleMania card, but got bumped because we needed to have, Speed and Pat McAfee on there.
gross.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's WrestleMania. What would you, just out of curiosity, like what would you grade this card?
Oh God, I'm unprepared. I
I would go C plus.
think I would go with like a C minus.
Tough.
Yeah, I
Tough.
don't.
Saturday is really, really rough.
Yeah,
Saturday's rough. I'm uh I wish Sunday was Saturday. So that
oh yeah.
at least we could with the before we meet our daughter, we could at least see the best
Maybe we will be watching it
as you're in.
Yeah,
Maybe
put
I'm
it
just
on.
over your shoulder, like,
Put it on.
hey, honestly,
Maybe
like,
it'll help
like it might
take the edge off.
take a little bit of the the thought away and make you a little less anxious.
Maybe we should actually have her to WrestleMania and introduce her as early as possible
And
to
then
our obsession with
there will be
wrestling.
yet another royal family in wrestling.
And then we can tell her you were born to which match.
your intercontinental champion, Rusev.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, please no. Just give it to Penta.
I like Ray there. I like Ray. Or Javon.
Oh yeah,
Javon would be fun.
Javon would be great.
Javon would be fun.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
For me, it's Penta or Javon for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Saturday's rough. Sunday, I think that's why they've staggered the show like that, because they know they have a lot of chuffa on Saturday. So it's like if you backload it, then people will be left with like their last impression will be like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is that I would, if I were them, if I had 5 surprises or returns in my holster, like I would front load them for Saturday. I would pack a lot of moments around that card to make it seem like it was bigger than it was, because I see 1, 2, 3 matches, 3.5 matches that I actually care about. And like I would say that like Fatu and McIntyre, Vaquer and Morgan, and really just Cody Rhodes and Orton, just because of I'm just, in the same way that you're curious at like a car crash, you just kind of want to see like how it's resolved and
Yeah.
what the fallout was and everything. And, but I'm not, and the half would be Rollins and Gunther, just because it's like, it's going to be great work, but it's also like so thrown together that it's hard to get behind it. So,
Yeah.
Sunday's definitely going to be the day. We will find some way to get you our reaction to it. I don't know what it's going to look like. It could be just it could be just us posting like notes from a notes app screenshot on Instagram.
No, we'll try to do better than that.
We'll try to do something that is up to code with the brand.
Yeah. I feel like I
that
really,
all 270 of you have come to appreciate and enjoy.
yeah, I enjoy posting to our Instagram because I don't know. My actual Instagram is so awful that like going to my Shootnami Instagram is like a breath of fresh
It's a
air.
reprieve.
Yeah. So
Well, until then, we will see you on the other side.
we will be back.
We will be back. This isn't
Goodbye.
so long. This is just so long for now.
Yeah.
And the next time that we come to you, we will have a little girl.
We'll have another little wrestling
have
fan.
Another little wrestling fan, and the lineage continues. And eventually, they will be your new Shootnami host.
Oh God.
Calling it now, 30, 20 year in advance. Oh, and Bo's here, by the way.
Bo
We
says
made
goodbye.
it. We made it through the entire recording with just a few snores, and I've been so proud of him. But he wanted to announce himself right before we signed off.
I was gonna say he probably snored through the whole thing.
Yeah,
But
Bo is our French bulldog. I think I said in episode 3, he had a disclaimer about him. Anytime we bring him down here, he's snoring, and he
perfect timing.
You could hear him right now. And he made it about 2 hours. So honestly, I consider this a win.
I'm proud of him.
I consider this podcast a win. Honestly, this is one that we knew we weren't going to do like a lot of editing on.
Yeah.
And I think that, normally this is a show that I pour over the editing for, and I really try to create as much of a tight experience as possible. We knew we couldn't do that. We knew we had a lot to talk about. And I thought that this is really fun, and we killed it.
Aw. Well,
unlike the WWE, like we met our moment.
Yeah. Well, we're not trying to appease ESPN or appease anyone. We're just here to.
That's right. That's true.
We're just here to mark out.
Yeah,
truly.
that's true. Because if we were, I'd be out for Pat McAfee. It'd be you and McAfee sitting here talking about Shootnami,
and it would be like an AI generated feud.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it's been a pleasure for now.
Enjoy WrestleMania. If you haven't, go back and watch Dynasty.
Yes.
A lot of great stuff there. Glad we had the chance to recap AEW. Enjoy WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday, and can't wait to see at least what surprises are in store. And until then, we will catch you on the next time. Goodbye.